Bunk away. Hi everyone, welcome to another build guide of mine. This time we do something different in Path of Exile 2, and that is minions. So this is the first kind of like really minion build I played in Path of Exile 2, and I didn't know that it's so much fun to play the monkey build, and I thought I'd make also a build guide about this. So what I want to go through is today is leveling, then also how to start to play with the monkey, because we don't do that from level 1 out. Then we also go into equipment, what to look for, what is my current state, and also min-max in the end, what I'm looking for next for my upgrades, and also what you can looking for, what is the next upgrade maybe also for you. So first, leveling. We will level with two options. So it's either or you can do lightning arrow and just play as a bow build until Act 3, or you do twisters, which is a bit more damage I would say, but it's also a bit more into the mid-range melee category. So when you don't feel really comfortable with that, I would recommend lightning arrow. So both are in my build guide on Mobalytics. You have the link down below, so you can choose whatever you want. I leveled with lightning arrow, so there is nothing bad about it, and it's really good and it's smooth. Especially also in hardcore, because you play a ranged character. Just why do we do that and not use like with the first ascendancy already the companions, right, with a unique tame beast? We do that because first of all we need a couple of levels and skill points to get to all the nodes, right? And the really good beast we can tame is a monkey, which is in Act 3 anyway. So I would really recommend you guys to do your Act 3 until you get the second ascendancy point, and then you switch over and grab yourself a monkey. So first we do the Wild Protector, which is also really nice when we are in Act 2, because it gives us also some defensive protection, because we put also loyalty in. Loyalty gives you damage which goes back to your minion, so this is really good as well. So just to also note, when you're leveling in either way, there's also a bit gold you need to respec, right? Because we have a bit different tree we go into as we go further into the minion build. So as soon as you have that Act 3 ascendancy, so the second ascendancy, you grab yourself a gem with tame beast, and then you just put it in like this, and then you have it here as a skill, and when you see the monkey you just click on the monkey and cast it before it dies, and then you need to kill it in a couple of seconds, and then you have yourself a tame monkey. Just that you know how to tame a beast, and then you just move forward how from my build guide you see in Mobalytics, from leveling to early maps. And the second you are on maps, you want to look out a bit more into evasion rating, because in the beginning evasion rating is not that high, and especially in Act 1, 2, 3, right? So there it starts a bit to get better. With the deflection rating we also skill. But as soon as you're on maps, I would recommend you the first like unique and upgrade, which is kind of like the cheapest one, as from my knowing now in hardcore, is the Forgotten Warden. This is also really great because we don't get just a good defense, we also get a free companion to it, which is really great. That is the Spirit Vessel. Of course, it is still level 19. The level 20 is really expensive here in hardcore. But what's important here is that you have the last one, damage from deflected hits is taken from your damage of companion's life, and the deflection rating per missing energy shield, and of course the evasion energy shield as well. So this is really great. So when you get also your third ascendancy, I wouldn't recommend to do the French timbre and the Sylvan effigy, because that's both are a bit more expensive. So what you can do is also for weapons in the beginning, when you're early maps, is a Rappling Scepter or a Omen Scepter. Omen gives you gives the enemies crit weakness. So this is really great because our monkey has a high crit chance in general already. So both are really great, and then plus minion and increased spirits. And when you have the next ascendancy, the third one, which is a companions gain added attack damage, then there's also a real nice weapon you can use, which is well achieved. That is this one. So this was my starting weapon. You can also use it already with leveling if you have already your third ascendancy in the early maps. So this gives you, because it has so high physical damage, gives your companions a lot of the extra damage. So this is why we use it. Of course you can still use it instead of this, but just like from testing periods, for me like this makes more sense, because you have the +2 levels of all minion skill which is really great. And from the damage wise, what the monkey stat said, that is better, especially when you have later the greater rune of leadership both in it, which is really great. So let's come to my at the moment state. So if you are on maps and you have maybe already your Forgotten Warden, the next upgrade also would be then the Sylvan effigy, which gives you any number of companions of different types you can have, which is really great, right? Because at the moment I when I have like the wolf pack, right, I can't then have a companion here and a companion here and the Spirit Vessel. That doesn't work. So this is a really big upgrade. I'm not sure how the prices is in softcore, but in hardcore it was around 35, 39 divine, but this is because here is like also 96 increased damage to your mark target, so this is kind of like a really good goal already. So as long as you have this one, this is really great, and this gives you a lot of more minions, which also gives you a lot of more defenses. So yeah, then I have, as already talked about, the Trench Timber, which both have the greater rune leadership in it, which gives extra lightning physical damage my minions do. Just a helmet with maximum life, 2 minions to level of minion skills, which is really important, and then look for high energy shield. And yeah, Forgotten Warden, we already talked about it. So there's also Hawk Idol and Rabbit Idol in it. Why do I put a Rabbit Idol maybe in? If you guys question this one, it's just because the idols I use give my companions 10% increased damage, because I skilled the idolatry. And the less we have on non-idols, the better, because also our elemental resistance going down with that. So it's a buff for minions as well. That's why we also have on a helmet increased civilization, but this is kind of like a no-brainer because this is really good for us. Rings, whatever, gives you resistance, maximum life, evasion rating is also nice, right, to get a bit defense. Same with the other ring, same as a belt. I already have some skill points in the breach tree to have maybe rings and belts with minion, maximum life, attack damage and so on, but to roll there a good one is also really rare, so I'm working on that as well. My gloves, so here this will be my next upgrade as soon as the currency exchange gives me that. So there's also high life and high resistance with evasion, pure evasion, evasion energy shield, something like this is really good. And later I will socket this in, this is Carved Majesty, which gives my companions onslaught for 5 seconds on hitting mark target. So, and a boss as an example, a bigger rare we always mark. So this is really good in terms also of damage. And it's an idle, so here again we get another 10% increased damage for our companions. Then the boots, that is just pure evasion rating, yeah, always important, the high movement speed, maximum life, and then also resistance. So this is kind of like just defenses. Then I use the Black Cat, which gives me like immunity to shock, some rarity charm, and then we have the immunity to freeze, so that is also nice just for the energy recharge starts directly. So it's a small like defense layer, but either way I like it, so it's really good. You can also use a normal anti-freeze, so that is not like really important, but I like the combo. Okay, my gems. So we have our Wild Protector. As soon as we are 90, we got also a 6 link. He got Feeding Frenzy, Rage, Romia's Recruitery. So this is really great. When you don't have this, you just use Loyalty. Then Hiking Minions, which is also great because he costs significantly more spirit, but as is a skill from our ascendancy, it doesn't cost us any spirit. So this is like no downside, just upsides. And then Master, of course, because we have a lot of different minions. Discipline, we just let it run. Our Asminian Wolf, which comes from our second-hand weapon. So there's bidding, just to have higher cooldown recovery, right, on the skill. Hiking minions, the same, we don't have here any cost of spirit. Master, same with the 7% for each reviving minion, and then we have Rage. Spirit Vessel, the same. We have here just, so here's 2 options you can do. I think from myself, and from myself point out, this as a werewolf running is way better than a lot of people do with the Wyvern, just because we have here empowers with added cold damage, which is really great, right? So all my allies get also added cold damage. And then we have also Luna's Blessing, which is any wolf minion you have, right? So this also gets a buff, which is really great. And it's ice, so it's kind of like also a small defense layer when they are a bit more slowed. And the same with Hiking Minions here and Rage. Then we have our monkey. He has at the moment explode nearby corpses, extra chaos damage and extra fire damage. How to get that, I will go over that next, after we go through all the gems. Then we have Feeding Frenzy with him, Master, Rage, Rapid Attacks, and Hiking Minions. Then the Skeleton Brute, which is our use for the offering. So we have Death March, so they give also heal our allies when they die. Then the last gap, so that does take longer, right, that they die. Sacrifice Lamb, so they get used for our sacrifice offering, and then just have to get a bit more maximum physical hit damage. Sniper's Mark, that is also really good for our monkey. Next critical hit against marked enemies has increased critical damage bonus, right, because he has a high crit chance already. And then we have Eternal Mark. charge mark, so it's also when it gets activated shock ground. Then we have mark of death, and then cooldown recovery, so we can put it more and faster on the boss again. Then some defense, which is Wind Dancer. There's blind in it, maim, magnified area, and knockback, just for us to get a bit more defense. Then we have the pain offering. So there's sacrifice offering in it. You don't need to use it when you feel like in hardcore you don't want to use it because you lose a bit of life. That is fine either way. Then we have magnified area, prologue duration, and then just the mini mastery. So what you can do instead of this is, if you have currency, as an example, Brutus Brain is really good. That would be my 6 link, just that it doesn't die. But it's also really expensive, as I said. So you can also just 3-link it if you want to. Then another defense layer is Ghost Dance, which is cooldown recovery. So it gives us then our energy shield back, right? And cooldown recovery gives that just like a better rate on that. Then we have our clerics with last gas, meat shield, rapid casting, and minion mastery. So they are just there to heal our allies and also to have this extra 7% for our other companions, right? For the extra damage. Then we have our wolf pack. So the Withering Touch is really great because we have also in our skill tree that the companions have 40% chance to poison, and then we have also extra chaos damage, right? So this is kind of like a no-brainer to give them because there's a lot of wolves already there, right? And then they all put wizard on it. This is really great. Rage, rapid attacks, master, and then some loyalty to get also a bit more defense from our side. Then I let a normal, like rare running. At the moment he just has an extra physical damage aura. Best what you are looking for is someone with like haste aura. That would be really great. But then also there's not all rares which are really good. I also put that down in my mobalytics, so you can check on which rares are really good, and there's also some options where you can farm them. The best way when you are in maps is, when we go in maps, is Untainted Paradise. This is this one. There I found now this which I have. Unfortunately there was no haste our minion there. So when you go in there, just grab also a lot of gems because you want to have a lot of modifiers, and when you have already a bit of your Atlas guild, it's the rares get more modifiers. When your waystones have more, right? So that you have just like in and out, you just have one, and then you, I don't know, grab 10 gems and see what you get. Good thing is you see it on your mini map when there's a rare, so you can be prepared because your monkey just slams everything so fast, so sometimes it's a bit hard to do that. There's also 2 other options, which is one just to go on the world map in Act 4, which is Wakapano Island. Where is it? Here for me. Fetch Bay, where is it? Here. There's mostly also essence, where you can always reset and check for the essence. Good part in the essence is that you see it before you open it. Bad part is it takes like a long time. Same as in Act 3. Infested Barrens, there's a camp with 2 rares. Both are really good rares, but then you need also haste aura, and it's level 35. So when your monster level is so low, it's kind of like hard because you can't put all your minions back in your pockets, kind of, right? So at least your bear is always there, and he slams like one hit and it's gone, right? So that is, you need to really, really fast to get it. So that is kind of like the 3 options to get that. Coming to our monkey, that is a bit different. So normally when you catch the monkey in Act 3 and also in the map, it's the same. So you don't need to do a map 1 when you have the normal Act 3 monkey. To get ads on it, like add-ons, you need some different tablets, which is, as example, this one. Unique monsters have one additional rare modifiers. So you need 2 tablets with this on. It doesn't need to be a rare tablet, but it needs to be on with the unique monsters. And then you use one of the unique ones, which is this one. And map bosses have one additional modifier. Okay. So if we have all the tablets done and ready to go, we just need the map, right? So it's both maps. So when you have Rupture, you just put it in, and then you can also click enter, and it jumps through all the Ruptures you have open. And the second one is Riverside. So both maps work. There in the end is a monkey. So put all the tablets, the 3-part tablets in, and always be careful because you just have one portal, right? So don't go in and out, and grab you a good monkey. What you're looking for a monkey, the chaos damage, as an example I have, is really good. Yeah, haste aura is also really good. Extra damage in total if it's fire, physical, it's always nice. But I would also everything down in my mobalytics. You'll find everything written down also there. But like extra damage, haste, attack speed, this or crit, right? This is really good, and at least 3 modifiers you have from him. There's also on the maps a chance with Shadow you get increased effect on your modifiers on tablets. So they changed it a bit. It was 20% before that, but it's still viable, so you can still also run that to get maybe a monkey with more than that. So the maximum you can tame one is 4. So if it's, let's say there's 6 modifiers on it, you will get randomly 4 of these. So there's no guarantee of the 6 to just get 4. Same as with spirits, so there's no chance to get the, when it's there's a spirit in the boss, you don't get that. So it's just the modifiers itself. So for me, my upgrade and what is next. So overall, still waiting for, as I said earlier, with the currency exchange, right, to get the new idol. And then of course the skill needs to be level 20, as well as these both too. So that is kind of like my next upgrades. I think that can be also roll better. We have the +1 of all skills. Can be also minion, or not all skills, so both is really great. But this will be really expensive, so this is kind of like the later upgrade after the other 2. And then going also a bit into, in general, a bit better equipment. It's still good, but there's like small min-maxing we can do. And then there's also a couple of like 6-links which are missing. And then having also maybe a better monkey, so that is also on my list, as well as I get the better rare. Because it's not bad with the physical damage hour, but it still is upgradable, so this is also on my list. And now it's a question also how to play this, right? So really easy. We kind of like don't need to do much, which is really nice for also when you're a new player. So the only thing what you do is holding the internal hunt on cooldown, which is from our scepter, right? So he howls, gives all our minion a buff, and then as you can see, there's like shadows, like in the Act 1 boss, the end boss. He does it also, kind of like the jumping wolves attacks. Then we have our pain offering, which is this one, right, which gives all our minions maximum more, like 30% more damage, which is really nice. You use it mostly in like really bigger fights, as an example boss fights. And then we have the sniper's mark, which we always put on the boss or on the rare, so just that our minions does also more critical damage. But this is kind of like it, and then you can concentrate on everything around you, staying right, look on the ground region you have, right, so everything around you, you can concentrate on that and let your minions, and especially your monkey, bonk away. Yeah, that's kind of like it from our monkey build. So if you have any question, just join my Discord and ask right away. Or when I'm online, I'm always happy to help you. Just drop a message when I'm online on Twitch, and then I will be happy to answer that. Yeah, just have, as I said already multiple times, my link down below in terms of mobility. So everything is written down, and you can have every information you need there. Also in progression of leveling to early maps and then min-maxing later on. Thank you again for all your support, guys, and stay sane, exiled, and happy bonking. Bye. Yeah.